the things you lose are never really the things that you needed. It's the things that kind of clouded your vision and clouded your life and clouded your access to yourself. And in the process of kind of more healing and discovering what else is out there, what else can I do, or what else do I want to do now, in this brand new life of mine, after everything I thought was going to happen kind of just went away, I discovered, this is like a Disney moment, and I'm sorry, I discovered the real me inside of myself. But like it's the truth.
Women's Podcast welcomes you, thanks you, and says hello to you. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Nina.
And welcome to our very dedicated episode to 2025, but not in a way of acceptance and appreciation. Actually, there might be a bit of that. I'm not going to fully put that aside, but more like in the title, F you. No, what was the thing again? What the F was 2025.
Was 2025, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to What the F is 2025, where we sit down and we go past the few months of 2025 and ask ourselves what the actual fruit, because we can't swear.
I like that.
So
and what the fruit?
YouTube.
Yeah,
what the fruit?
that.
Yeah. What
the fruit?
What the Frankenstein? What the ferret? What the friggin' fires? I don't know.
I like that. That's great. I'm gonna use that.
Go right ahead. When you can't, as I said, when you can't swear, you got to find alternatives. So
yeah,
I just say fruit and basket sometimes instead of saying like F off or F you. Fruit and basket. Don't know why. It just sounds better.
It sounds good. It sounds whole. Sounds complete. Yeah, I agree.
Fruit basket.
I just say what the freak, but what the fruit basket sounds better.
That's a lot more sense. What the freak? It's more sense. Like what the freak? Is that a swear word? Is frick considered a swear word?
When I was 12, a friend of mine said that it was, but I don't believe that it is. I've never heard that before.
Sounds like it, but it's not. What the freak? That makes sense. Yeah. And what the freak? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are yours? Feel free to tell us. We'd like to know. What's yours? What in the tree? What in the bowl? What in the, I don't know, garage? Something.
What in the hell?
What the hell? What the hell? I love that sound. It just doesn't leave my head. You know how many moments when things happen? So I hit my leg on the corner of my bed the other day, and instead of swearing, I was like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell are you doing now? Why'd you do that to me? Just break out in song to cope with the searing pain that is going to leave a bruise on my innocent leg. Yeah, and a baby-proof the corners. I often have thought about them. Baby-proofing the corner.
I have to do that genuinely. I have to seriously look into doing that for my dog, because we have like a corner table in the living room, and when she sits near us, she'll have her head like right at the corner of the table, and I'm just like, why do you insist on doing this? So we move the table, and then she'll move closer, and I'm like, do you want to go blind? Is that your whole shtick? Is that what you want? And her name is Momo, and she's cute and everything. But like sometimes I just think she is looking for danger. So like if anybody has some recommendations of like corner table child-proofing methods, I would greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll have to get rid of the table. But yeah, anyway.
Just imagining Momo was like, she's looking at that table and thinking, Bond, James Bond. And then what could I do? Where could I go? Where could I be right now? She's just, honestly, there is a photo that Nina sent me ages ago where Momo was looking at her from around the corner. And if Nina shares this photo with anyone or on here, honestly, it was the funniest thing I have seen. Like she's fully Do you imagine she's peering around the corner looking at Nina and she's like,
Yeah.
Nina, I don't know what she's saying, but I feel the judgment. Like, I feel the energy of that. What were you doing?
I was eating, and she wanted me to come outside the kitchen and, acknowledge her, play with her, touch her. Yeah. So she's like, "What are you doing? Come over here right now." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm eating food." And now she joins me. Now she just sits underneath my chair and waits and puts her head on my feet. It's just very sweet.
That's better than the whole, like Amanda's in the corner, like, she's
I
so
like that.
cute.
Yeah,
She is so
she
cute.
is.
She's got such little legs. I honestly just wish I could, like, give her a little squeeze. Oh, you get the adrenaline when you see really, like, cute dogs. And when I see photos of her, she got such so cute.
Yeah.
And
But
the
your
video as
babies are
well.
cute too. Yeah.
Of course they are. I have no doubt about that. Like, there is no question. There's no jury. There's no court. They are the
Hmm.
cute. To me, they're the
Yeah.
cutest. But to add Momo, because I don't believe in favoritism, like, I think all of them bundled together is like a cloud of beautifulness and fluffy goodness of
Hmm.
joy and best friendness. And yet, I have a
Yeah.
lot of feelings towards dogs. They're just so cute.
They are.
They really are. I looked at we talk about the dogs a lot. I mean, 2025, you know. I looked at Mila the other day and she was just staring at me like this. And I said to her, if you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna squeeze you. I'm gonna pick you up and give you the biggest cuddle because I'm getting the need to squeeze you because of your cuteness. I always say it to her, I'm like, if you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna have to give you a hug. I'm gonna have to. I have no choice.
Yeah, they're adorable. I love them. When we FaceTime, she sometimes shows me everybody, like in the backyard and stuff. And
Hmm,
yeah, they're adorable. They're little. They're
Introduction.
like Pluto's a little gremlin. Like he's like tiny but mighty. So he'll fight anybody. He's like, bring it on. You know that AI generated image of the Chihuahua in the woods in Mexico with the wolves? It's not real, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I feel like Pluto would do something like that. He would escape, become the leader of a pack of wolves, and just like be the big boss of the town.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's got attitude like an adult.
Yeah.
Really, in his past life, he was an adult. I believe it. He was an adult because
Mhm.
sometimes I don't know. I just get this feeling when he looks at me, or when he's doing certain things, like when he's not wanting to interact with other humans. It's like you're a vibe. I get it because he's full. He'll turn his back on people. Well, they'll be like Pluto, and he'll be like turn his back and then leave. He won't even look at them. That's just it. And we've trained him. He's been trained, right? But why? Like, I'm not going to force them to constantly like listen to every single command and shit. I don't know. For
Yeah.
me, I would like a dog to also be a dog and not some kind of
Yeah.
like obedient, like fully obedient
Puppet.
animal. Yeah, puppet. Like, I feel like it's a little too controlling.
Yeah.
So, but it is funny because he has been trained to listen to his name, and he does. But at times, when he's in this mode of, you know what, it's self day, it's me day, it's me time. Yeah, that goes out the window. So people are fully calling him like Pluto, and he'll be imagine sort of his legs standing there, and he'll look and then go,
Yeah. It's
and
like,
they're like,
oh, not
oh,
again.
I'm like, oh, and I'm like, yes, you'll get used to it. There's nothing
I
else
love
I
that.
can say.
Yeah.
That's going to be our whole episode for this one, is talking about dogs, and then maybe we'll add in music like the other one. We talk about both of
Yeah.
them a lot. So let's get into it. Let's start with January. What was January like?
January, February,
January.
March. Anyway,
April. Oh, this is. on TikTok for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's for people showing, I guess, what's happened that month, isn't it?
Hmm.
January. Yeah, I can't remember, but
Yeah.
the sound is familiar. Yeah.
Would you
Where do
like
we
to
even
begin?
start?
Because I feel like your year began on a high note,
Yeah.
or rather, seated.
You know the song High by the Lighthouse Family? I think that's their name. Yes. When you're close to tears, someday we'll all be over. One day we're going to get so high. Like I felt that the moment that January hit so high that I landed in a chair for 8 weeks. So that's how high I got. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So that was my January. I tore my calf muscle. So and
Hmm.
that got me out for eight
Great
weeks.
start to the year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing more comforting and riveting and like a real willpower than having an injury the first month of the year and having to
Yeah.
spend months recovering from that rehabilitation and then be told that, well, the scar tissue is going to forever be there. So, yeah, yep. 2025 gave me a permanent scar tissue. So, thank you thank you.
Yeah, that was a difficult time, but you got through it well. I'm trying to find the positives, but like you were not treated fairly at especially at the beginning of the year. You know, when you have still a little bit of hope of like maybe this could be a great year, and then you get that. It's not nice.
Was so difficult as well for multiple. Look, the whole episode isn't going to be based on every single negative of the year, but there was quite a few more tough experiences for both, I'd say. Then there
Yeah,
was like, hurrah! But I know Nina has some great experiences to share as well. So just, 50-50 kind of thing,
yeah,
maybe. With the calf injury, I think there was just a lot of learning experiences, but also realizations. But the toughness as well, which just allows me to advocate for it, is sort of how people externally treat a very vulnerable space and
yeah,
something that someone can't help. So that was very interesting in how people respond to having to care for someone else, especially when you don't want to be cared. But it was very challenging, very, very challenging and very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. You wouldn't think it, but I mean, you can't shower by yourself. Someone else has
yeah.
to get your food and then like getting to bed, like, oh dude. I said to Nina, I said it to her a few times this year. I said, Nina, I honestly can't believe that it happened. Like I honestly feel like it was a pipe dream or something that happened a long
Mm,
time ago. And I really wish that. I really wish that I just dreamt all of it. No, it actually happened. And it will never be happening again. Never.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's send some healing strength energy to Ashley's calves. So they've made a full recovery, but that this will never happen again. It's been sent.
It never. I've started strength training. I started strength training this year, which is a
Yeah.
good positive. So I'm literally
Yeah.
like, these calves are going to be bulked. They're going to be bulked and they're not going to tear. Bulky, but no
Yeah.
tear. That's what I ordered when I signed up for training. I want bulky, strong, healthy, no tear, no injury. I didn't order it. So if I get it, I want a refund.
Hmm.
Yeah, not happening. Hmm.
Yeah. You've been working really, really hard, and I'm proud of you. I've had dreams of Ashley just like being completely ripped, and I'm like, dude. I woke up the next morning and I was like, Ashley, I can see you in like fitness competitions, like those. know?
Now, I'm saying this now. I would never join the fitness competitions, but I definitely would flex a muscle or two. Not
Yeah.
saying I,
Yeah.
and I already have technically because I can see the muscle developing around this area here and I can feel it like in my thoracic and having scoliosis, Let me say this, and I've said this to my coach as well, who's absolutely awesome. And you never know what next year may bring. But I said this to my coach. I said to her, every single feeling that is different from what I've always felt and where I've always been, which is always sick and always feeling weak and always just struggling to move, just to do any form of movement, there was always a struggle. Or when I would start to do movement, something would happen with my physical health that would put me in a different situation, like the calf tear. So I said this to her, anything that is different from the reality that has always been, to me, is a major win. Like to actually feel, a lot stronger and to be sensing that and to witness myself moving up in weight as well. These are stuff that I really do cherish. And I'm very grateful to have such a supportive coach who literally focuses on the human side of this a lot more as well, and is not just, in the mode of like, come on, like move it, thinking that is going to validate the fact that some of us have had a lifelong experience of being ill and taking medication, and that has shown up physically in different ways. But it's just been a really big process. And it's just having that conversation as well, being vulnerable like that and saying, like, hey, I'm not exhausted because this is hard. I'm exhausted because this body is healing from years of never being allowed to heal and never being able to from childhood. Like, no resolution has come at all with my health. So feeling different it's really major, and it's not something to take advantage of, really. So it's like a really good gratitude to have, I think, for a lot of people who can really move without such debilitation and can do without pain, you know. So having scoliosis and having the issues that I've had that have been so painful and feeling less of that pain, I mean, F
Yeah.
2025, but also like yay to me, because I was able to had to let go of a lot of things, and I had to like really move things around. But it's happening. It's happening. I'm going to be so ripped that I'm going to be the Hulk 2.0. And I made that joke to my
Yeah.
coach. I was like, Hercules 2.0, 2.0. And I was going to dress up for it as Halloween and rock up to my training session in like Hulk gear, like, oh, smash, Hulk smash.
I love that.
Yeah.
But like if I may, because you
Yeah.
kind of put it in perspective there for a minute, you started the year struggling, trying to get your body back to health, and being in recovery. And obviously, it's still an ongoing process, but like
Yeah.
you're in charge now. You're ending the year completely in charge and being in a position of power when before you were a victim of something that happened to your body. So I'm incredible. Look at you taking the narrative back in your own hands and being like, not today.
Pick up that 30-kilo dumbbell and thank you, my friend. It actually feels good to be trying something and for it to be showing up. Obviously, there's still things that need to be worked through. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. But when you have a coach that's supportive in the process and you're honest about the process, like that's the main thing that I wanted. Is if I was going to do this, I wanted a coach that was going to understand that I've had a human experience in this way and it's still showing up in my day-to-day life. And in order for me to move forward in the movement, it can't be invalidated because I can't ignore it. It's not something that's gone away, and it's not going away at the moment. So there are presently all these issues that let's just see what happens with them as we keep moving forward. But there also needs to be validation that they do exist, So
Yeah.
having a coach that can support that and hear that and understand that and also work with you It's not like the coach just demanding you to move and then it's both of us working together, because like I'm there to be helped, by someone who is absolutely amazing at what she does. So, and that's what's happening, and that's what continues to happen. She got me to do some breath work today because I've been struggling with my breath while like moving.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's really hard because when you're focused on doing the movement right, I'll say, so I don't injure anything, sometimes you forget about the breath. And especially as an asthmatic,
Yeah.
breath is one of the hardest things that we deal with. So for years of only breathing in one way for a long time, and just 5 years ago, starting breath work, that was such a challenge. And it's taken me as long as it's needed to actually get there. But then when I got like pneumonia and bronchiolitis, that just took me out. When I got COVID, many times,
Yeah.
that just yeah, that was like lungs take you with us. We're taking you all down. So the rebuilding process, as you know yourself, with the calf as well, the rebuilding process has to be validated, because if you just act like it's not there and you're constantly focused on the lookism of the whole thing and working out for the sake of working out, but you're not actually having the human body be a part of that in the way that the human body is showing up, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm not a personal trainer, but I have learned so much in my own experience that the human body has to be advocated for, not just within the surface level or the outside external look of it, but entirely internal with how everything is or has been coping and moving. And so we've done to it as teenagers because we just thought our bodies were completely invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really big learning experience, and it still is. I started in September, the end of September. So yeah, it's been a bit over a month, a little bit over a month now. So I'm
And
glad.
look at you go.
The right one,
Mrs. Wonder
carefree.
Woman. You're doing amazing and you look
Injury
incredible and I'm
free.
proud of you. Yes, injury free. That is the first and foremost, most important thing. But also, I can see your growth in many different ways, but also with this new addition in your life. And to kind of think back to the beginning of the year where you were and how you were feeling in the discussions we had to now, and seeing your growth, internal and external, it's really beautiful to see. And I am a very big believer in celebrating as much as possible because life is tough. You see the
Mm.
title of this, so we'll probably be discussing a lot of different things, but like I think we don't celebrate nearly enough. And so any win that you have, my friend, I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. You got this. You got this. I'm just so proud of you. Round of applause. Oh,
I know that you say that to me, and that is completely valid. But also, of course, I've got to like drive that car back into your driveway
yeah.
and
Oh, okay.
ask you to open the door. And so tell us, right? Tell us we'll say like the start of the year, right?
Mhm.
What, if you remember, what unfolded that may have been something of a learning lesson, a challenge, but also if it's a mixture of stuff, like what was the start of the year for you? That question was so,
Oh, thank
but
No, I like it. I actually really love the way you just said that because I felt like I was like slightly in an ASMR interviewer like mode, and I'm like, ooh, sultry, seductive. I see you, but okay.
you got to end the 2025 off with some flirtation and some
Yeah,
sensuality and ASMR, and yeah, why not? We need it after this year.
yeah, yeah. Well, the start of my year, I slightly remember it. I feel like I'm kind of in a coma. I do not acknowledge anything anymore.
She's, instead of like being like dissociated from life, she's in a coma instead. She puts herself in that.
Yeah. Yeah, every day is just a blur. But no, in all seriousness, the year started on a low and a high at the same time. There was some stuff that I did to kind of just like confront my fears. But in retrospect, they were good, and I knew that I had to do them. I'm not going to get into the details because it is quite private. Sorry, but I I will say this. I kind of have like a rule in my life that if there's something at the end of the year that I haven't done that I really, really want to do, and there's a lot of like anxiety or just kind of like a built up energy within me where I'm like, I don't know, this or that, and I can't decide, I just kind of go for it at the end of the year. And I'm like, I'm not ending the year on a question mark. I'm ending it on an exclamation mark. Okay. So 2024, the end of that kind of was that for me. Also, can I just take a moment to say that we lost Betty White on New Year's Eve? Or New Year's Day. I never quite know what it is. Is it Eve or is it day? On the day the new year happens. We lost Betty White last year, at the end of last year, beginning this year. So like that is a major loss. And I feel like that already gave me like bad vibes. For 2025, just like we lost one of the golden girls. How could you 2025? But anyway, I digress. The beginning of the year kind of started on a few no's, but I eventually turned them into yeses, which sounds ambiguous, but majority of the first half of the year was just trying to figure out where to go from here in terms of my life. Because I think I've mentioned it in a few episodes prior, and you can check out what I said there because I don't remember, and I do believe I went more into detail in prior episodes. But like the last few years have been quite tough on me, and kind of last year especially, I would say I had to deal with a lot of goodbyes and letting things go. And so I kind of went into 2012 thinking, this is the year. Everything's gonna like fall into place. This is gonna happen. Bam, bam, bam. We're gonna make this happen. This is how I'm gonna do it. By then it's gonna be done. And then 2025 actually was in process. And I was like, oh, okay, no, that's not what's happening here. I'm being asked to sit down. And that was not so nice. But at the same time, since last year, I started working on some passion projects just to kind of get back to myself and reconnect to self and what my own personal dreams and goals are. And one of them is writing a book, a poetry book. I think Ashley has mentioned it, has sprinkled it in a few times here and there because she's very excited. And I'm very excited for you to read it. But that has been something I've been doing. Obviously, also work on the podcast, also work in like trying to figure out what to go and what direction I want to go in, which I have figured out at this point, which is, I would say, this is beginning-ish, so it does apply to your question, Ash. Beginning-ish, I would say like March, April. I don't know if it was this year or last. I have to reference this. Ash and I and Jay, our editor, we have a group chat where we talk about life and talk about stuff. And Ashley, the goat that she is, GOAT, she left a few mic drops in the group chat, and she was like, we were talking about dreams, and she had asked the question of what is something that you wanted to do as a child but ended up not doing, something along those lines, and why. And so I responded, I was like, oh, I wanted to be a musician. Oh, I wanted to do this. And now I can't do this because X, Y, and Z. And she was like, just because, first of all, just because it didn't happen at that time doesn't mean it can't happen for you now. That was the first like, ooh, okay, I see you. And then the second thing was like, all I'm hearing is a bunch of no's, a bunch of restriction, a bunch of like walls, and I need you to break through it because you're capable of so much more. You can do this. And I'm like, that really affected me in a good way and like planted a lot of seeds in my brain. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, why am I not doing the things that I want to do? So this year, I decided around March and April to go into something that I've been passionate about for a very long time and just was blind to, as we tend to be with things that are directly in front of our eyes, and that is to, should I say it? Should I keep it a secret? Should I reveal it to you in time? I'll do that. But let's just say I have found the thing that I want to do and that I want to move into, and it's going to be interesting to see the progression of that. But also, I've been working on the book. And once we get towards the end of the year, discussing that a bit, I'll let you know some surprising news, because I want to end off the episode with that rather than talk about it now. You got to work for it. I can't just give you everything, guys. Like, I'm sorry, but no, that's like, you gotta look forward to something, you know. But yeah, anyway, I don't know if I answered your question.
Stand back. Yes. Yes, you did, my sweets. You spoke about the start of the year. And if there's anything else that pops up, feel free to add that in there, love. Feel free to say it, to do it. This is just we have no structure with this episode. We're just kind of flowing. But I would like to ask a question that popped into my head as I was hearing you speak. Because we're in the flow of like the hard hitters of like what the actual F, and then also they're like, there was some like that. What did you learn this year? If that's one or multiple things, which majority of the time it's multiple. So feel free.
Wow. I really like this, Ashley Woods. You're really coming in.
Oh. When she says the first and the surname together, it's like, feels like a ring on it. Feels like the ring is on the finger.
Put a ring on it.
Plenty, so.
Yeah. But what did I learn this year? It's a really good question. Let me sit on that for a second. I want to say first, I learned that the things that so there's a multiple, and they're all connected. I'm going to mention the top three lessons I've learned for the year. The things that we deem as losses in our lives, I think eventually come back around to show us that, I hate to say it, but it all happens for a reason. I really hate it. Like, the older I get, the more irritable I get with that, because I think there are certain things we go through that is not necessary and inhumane, and you know, there's good and bad in that. But there were a lot of ideals that I had about my life and who I wanted to be that had to be erased and had to be kind of eradicated in the worst way possible, unfortunately, because I have a Taurus moon, so that means I'm stubborn. But it's the Taurus energy. So it kind of had to get to that point for things to fall apart. But in the process of this year, I kind of learned that the things you lose are never really the things that you needed. It's the things that kind of clouded your vision and clouded your life and clouded your access to yourself. And in the process of kind of more healing and discovering what else is out there, what else can I do, or what else do I want to do now, in this brand new life of mine, after everything I thought was going to happen kind of just went away, I discovered, this is like a Disney moment, and I'm sorry. I discovered the real me inside of myself. But like, it's the truth. You know, I kind of reconnected to my younger self. I reconnected to her dreams. And recently I learned that we need to bet on ourselves a lot more. I think sometimes I've mentioned it before, and I don't want to continually, we're 30 minutes in, I can curse, shit on the country, but living in Germany can be it's a very peculiar situation. And in the environment that I've been in, I think sometimes I feel like I'm in a shell and I'm not really able to live the life that I want to live. And I keep retreating back into the shell, not willingly, but like I'm kind of being forced to, due to my circumstances and what's available to me and stuff like that. But I do truly believe that we need to bet on ourselves more. I need to stop thinking so much and just do stuff because I'm very much an overthinker, and that the dreams and the visions that we hold for ourselves in our lives and are possible, and we are capable of achieving them. I truly believe that is the truth. But I think sometimes it can be difficult because we are creatures of our environment, right? So if you live in an environment that is very much anti dreams, anti self interest, anti doing anything out of the ordinary or normal or what's considered normal by society, it can be really tough to go for more and believe that you're capable and worthy of it. But I've recently learned that anything is possible. You just have to do it and continually believe in yourself and be around people who support you and believe in you too. And at the heart of everything, though, um, I've I think the biggest lesson I've learned since the last week or so is just how important it is to surround yourself as well with good people and people that actually like you, not just people that are standing at the sidelines judging you. You know what I mean? And Ashley is an incredible friend. And I have been surrounded by incredible friends recently, as of like a little while now. Well, not a little while. We've known each other for years, but just like more of it is coming in, and I just, yeah, I'm grateful. Okay, that's it. Mushy session over.
Yes. Come back next year. No jokes. We still have the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So excited. I think that's
What
really
about you,
nice.
my friend?
I get the question back. Can you answer to me in your amazing, like, television presenter voice or
Okay.
sensual voice? You pick.
Okay.
Mm, mm.
If I could do a Russian accent, I would do one right now. Anyway, what do you think is the biggest lesson you learned since this year? No, let me do it right. What is the biggest lesson you've learned, Ashley, since 2025? What would you say has been some of your biggest revelations of this year?
I'm not in menopause, and I feel like I just had like a million hot flashes in one. Honestly, you have many
Fan you
talents, and setting an Aries on fire is one of them. And y'all, my gosh, you're just stunning. That's why people like look at you and they just stare. They shouldn't, but I get why they do. Because it's like
They stare at
mesmerizing.
you
Like,
too.
how are you meant to?
So are you.
How are you meant to respond when you walk down the street? Like, what do you do? I mean, obviously, you do the right thing by being respectful and kind, but like, you walking down the street with like the glow, I'd be like, oh, what? Now I have to fix my face. Stop. I don't want to make her uncomfortable. But oh my gosh, does she know she's the sun? Is the sun real or is it a conspiracy theory and you're actually the sun?
Oh, see, I guess we'll never
Yeah.
know.
Unless we go to space, see it for ourselves that the sun's actually
Yeah,
there. Or if it's just
yeah.
all these people with like golden light that keeps it warm.
Hmm.
And we've been a bit
My
chilly
face.
here. Yeah. You need to come here. We've been a bit cold here for November.
Mhm.
So I
I'll
think there's
warm
a
you
lot of
up.
coldness around. There's a lot of coldness. You've already done that, honey. You've already done that. Like, I've got like triple, quadruple fire in my chart, and that just set me alight like 10 times more than that.
Wow. Wow. Did the chakras align too?
Oh, yeah. They didn't just align. You know, in the movies where like they get their powers in, it goes boom, boom, like it all just aligns. That's what it was like. Like the first chakra, I think up here went lock in. The third eye lock in. The throat lock in. And then
Like the
this
Power
huge
Rangers.
airbender.
Oh, I love it.
I was trying to think of like the animation voice, like a Yu-Gi-Oh that they use. My card out, and here is my double whammy dragon. And then like just
I love it. It's
I watched it as a
perfect.
kid. I find it funny. Did you watch them as a kid? Like
Yeah, yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh and that?
definitely.
I
Mhm.
was I was like laughing at it with my brother the other day. I was like holding the cards and I'm like, will I put down the fluffy monster?
I love it. That's perfect.
Like, can you stop? And then sometimes what I do to him, I did it a lot this year. He loved He-Man as a kid. So he would walk into the kitchen, I'd be like, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Dun, 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 dun. And I can't remember this one part, but I'm like, I am da da da, Prince of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer. And I'm like, at the dogs, my furious friend. Fabulous secret powers are revealed to me, and he's just looking at me like, again.
I love it. You're perfect, Ashley. I swear, you're so funny.
We need a laugh, keep people entertained. Why not? But that shit is memorable. Oh my gosh. Did you ever watch Asterix and Obelix or read the
Yeah,
book?
of course. Yeah.
Loved my brother. He loved watching those movies as a kid. And I got so sick of it. So sometimes I would like pretend to be like Obelix. Like, what? Oh, I want more. I would try to depict it. Like Aiden would come around the corner, and because there's a in the movie Obelix, I think it's the British Army invades. I can't remember the name of it. Asterix and Obelix and the British Army or something like that. But Asterix walks around carrying two boars, right? And he's walking around like, what do I do with these boars, Asterix? Can't even get his voice properly, but I'll just follow Aiden. I'm like, what do I do, Aiden?
That's
Oh
wonderful.
god,
I love that.
I'm the best sister.
You
Don't get it
are.
wrong.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get Aiden in here. He'll be like, but what did I learn this year? What did I learn this year? I learned a lot. I learned a lot uh, through every challenge because essentially I feel like I wouldn't say every challenge. It's kind of like the statement that you said that you're not a fan of, where it's like everything happens for a reason. Like with your
Mm,
magic ball, everything happens for. I get it. I get the annoyance of it. I really do. But in retrospect, a lot of the challenges that have come along have taught me things because I'm open to learning as
mm.
hard as it is. And sometimes I don't learn at that point in time, but down the road, I'll be like, ding. And then I'll tell her like what I discovered from what happened. How many times have we had those moments? How many times have we
Yeah.
both messaged each other and gone, I didn't see it then,
Oh,
but I see it
yeah.
now. Yeah,
And
yeah.
dreams as well. When you've had dreams
Yeah.
in the past and you couldn't decipher it, and then later you could, and we talked about it, and we're like, oh,
Oh my gosh, it's happening. Yeah, yeah. We've had plenty of experiences with that, plenty. And I do love them because essentially it feels like an internal validation, not just a self-validation, but an internal validation that's open to potential realities and expanding yourself beyond the one that you're in and allowing other things to come in. And you might learn to speak a certain way, or you might learn to take a path in a certain way, or you might realize that, as I realized with one of them, and this was recently too, and it's been on my mind, so I'm bringing it up. But I heard a story from someone about an experience they were having with someone else, a confrontation. And when they were relaying the story, this other person was going through a very activated moment, and that activation was essentially creating a scenario and a assumption that wasn't actually happening, if I'm making sense. Right.
Yeah.
So for the person that had the issue, their issues and what they were talking about and bringing up was coming from a space of things that didn't actually happen, but also weren't actually a reality, because they were making an assumption that the other person was, doing certain things, and like facial features were a certain thing, and that was a discussion. And that person was just sort of in the space of, this is what it is, and it's nothing more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's not my story to tell, but it activated a lot of thinking within me. And I told Nina about this, right? I said to Nina, oh my gosh, I just I really did sit back and I thought to myself, there have definitely been too many moments where the behavior is what it is. And there's no creating that. It is what it is. It's very in your face, or it's very familiar. There's distinction between the actual reality of someone else's behavior and what's just your own, right? And that's the thing that we all have to learn how to see, but also practice to acknowledge. So, being someone who's practicing that, when I sat back and I thought to myself, I wonder, and I don't know what, but I wonder if there were any moments where the survival part and the protector, what I call them within myself, jumped to a certain scenario to protect me, but that scenario really wasn't what was happening. Or the thoughts that it was jumping to weren't actually what that person was thinking. Going by facial expressions and features and body language and tone. Because obviously, when you've been someone who's had to constantly be on the edge throughout your entire existence almost, you look at every detail to try to protect yourself from any potential like push that's going to come at you or shove. And if you catch it early, like if I catch it early, then I can pull, like in the action movies, like when you're playing PlayStation and you're playing like fighters and it's like you got to dodge. It's like that, trying to prepare myself to dodge or to step out if they don't like me. I want to catch it early so I'm not put through any shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've lived like that. I know many of us have. But I did really sit back and I thought to myself, how many moments have I been blinded by I'm not going to say mine, trying to practice to not say mine, because it's not mine, it's not permanent, but how many times has the fear and the survival and the protector completely blinded me to see a reality that it's creating to protect me, but that reality is not unfolding. And I really want to preference this too, because I had someone the other day that we were having a discussion and they brought up, like, I was setting a boundary with this person and they brought up, emotional people have these discussions. Like they kind of put it in. I've had this so many times where you'll bring up something and they're like, oh, like the emotional thing is this conversation. Like what you're saying is a very emotional thing. And maybe it's because you can't cope. And it's like, whoa, pull the brakes on your desensitization to your own humanity. Pull the brakes for a second. There's a distinction between something that is factual for accountability and responsibility when that conversation is with another person. There's a difference between that and something that is being created by a large part of self that is trying to protect you. So I just don't want people thinking that there's a valid thing to use that to get away with shit, to try to gaslight you into thinking that it's your mind, it's your emotional self. Been there, done that. And that's the great thing. I need to say this to you all. This is the great thing about expanding yourself when conflict happens or when certain things happen. I'm not going to say for everything, right? Not everything is a learning experience. But the greatest thing about being more aware, as hard as it is is the fact that you can start to depict between what's yours and what's theirs. And what is, like, when they try to gaslight you with your emotions, like, what is the truth? Instead of you going into your head and thinking, am I really doing this? Is this really me? Instead of doing that, you're able to recognize, stop right now. Thank you very much. This is not happening. As the Spice Girls said it, literally, stop right now. You're able to put a halt to that because you're so solidified in your space of knowing that no, I know what this is. You don't get to gaslight me from that, or you don't get to, there's like these little tiny bugs from the plants. I'm going to fight them off as well. You don't get to gaslight me for something that is coming from your space. And I'm speaking about something that your response is what I'm talking about, and the accountability and responsibility that needs to come in this space right now. So I needed to say that because I've had those experiences this year where people, you know what? No. Let me tell you, I've had it all my life. I've had people try to make it out that everything that I'm saying and truly convince me to believe that everything that I'm feeling and thinking is so self-created that there's nothing happening externally from me, that it's all me. And that's so fucking interesting. It's like, was there a switch that I flicked in you for you to act this way? It's like, oh, you decided to sleep with my ex because I must have come into your dreams and said, hey, best friend, have my ex, have my boyfriend. Like, it's just that, yeah, no, I needed to really preference that because people will try it, anything to avoid being put in front of the mirror of accountability and responsibility. So, but back to what I learned, it was just a big thing for me to really see a lot more in the scope of that, of what is survival and what is fear, because people will have certain facial expressions with me and I can still feel the feelings and I can still hear the thoughts that come up with that, of they're judging you, they think you're this, they think you're that, like I have it come up. But now I feel like I'm in a space where I can say, well, that's the thing, is that I don't actually know, even by their facial expressions, what they're thinking. And even if they are thinking something, it is the base of I can't control it. But also I can't make an assumption to it. If I'm feeling something from intuition, from gut, from that space, then that's a part of the discussion of distinguish between you and them. But yeah, for me, it's just been a really big learning thing to step back and start practicing to look outside, to continue to look outside of that protective space that a lot of us have been in for a long time. And that's something that I actually wanted to share with you all as well, because we can be very blinded by the very things that truly feel that it's doing the right thing for you. So I don't blame it. When you've had a lot of people cause distrust, when you've had a lot of people show you why you shouldn't take the blindfold off or you shouldn't forget, it's hard to trust being outside of something that is security, that is a bodyguard, that feels like a protective layer, that's the only thing that's going to protect you from people like this. I truly get it. At the same time, though, there is situations that have happened because I've been in that blindfold and I've caused them, because I see it as, this is going to hurt me, this is going to harm me, so I'm going to protect myself. But in that reality, I didn't need to protect myself. I just needed to listen. I just needed to understand that there's an issue. There's an issue with someone else here. So take the blindfold off, come into the space, know that I'm going to be uncomfortable. And look, my ego might be a little bruised because obviously it's a practice, right? But in order for a relationship and a connection and whatever you guys want to call it to move, to thrive, to heal, to evolve, to be in the health of human, sometimes it's a practice to start taking that blindfold off and, go from there. That's a whole different story for another episode. Like, I feel like I could do a whole episode on it, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to.
No,
So
it's
that was
beautiful.
a
I
recent
love that
thing.
you mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for
it was a
sharing.
big thing. Thank you. And like a gold star now.
Of course, gold star. No, I
Oh,
as you were speaking
yeah.
as well, I was thinking, and I think a lot of my
Yeah,
life as
again.
well, subconsciously, this has happened for me, and where I thought I was protecting myself from something, but actually not just in relationships but also in regards to like me looking at my life, me looking at my future. I made decisions from a perspective of wanting to protect myself, but actually that was an illusion. That thing that I
Yeah.
ran to wasn't really protection. And also the disillusionment of that when you step outside of like, oh, how many times have I done that and I've never noticed? Or like maybe I was wrong, or maybe it was like a complicated situation where it was like a 50-50 thing. It's a very complex observation and point to get to. So I'm proud of you of walking that line and you know being in the middle of it and trying to decipher everything. I'm proud of you for that. And then also, as you were speaking, like I said, I was thinking, wow, I've done that for a lot of this year as well. And when I started to step out of it, that's when I started to see finally things fall back into place, because it's like protection. We've heard it before. Comfortability is not a zone for growth. It's not really where you grow. Unfortunately, I don't know why it is that way, but it is. Um, I wish we could be comfortable and grow, but that's not life. So, yeah,
Oh,
but it's amazing to see your evolution, like to
mm,
be a witness to that. I know I've said that
likewise.
before, but it is the truth. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, you helped me a lot this year, like a lot, and I'll say that in every episode. Yes, of course you did. I told you this around April because something happened
Mhm.
around that time that I'm not going to
Yeah.
privacy, James. Yes. But something did happen around that time that I still don't really have a full understanding over why or what the F happened. That's why 2025 is what the F, because you're debating between, I don't know. I know what I'm like thinking, but I'm not going to say it. But during that experience that went for a bit, because I was in a grief state, which was really interesting. Oh my gosh, if I could explain. When we say that grief is non-linear, please hear me with that, because I didn't have a choice. There was no choice that I made to have a response like this over this situation. That's just what it was. And it went for like 3 months, I think, and I know what grief looks like to me because I can't watch movies or TV. I find it really hard to be, and I have no motivation for life. Like, it just, grief shows up for me in a certain way, so I know what it's like. I know what that picture looks like. So this, I it hit me in this way, and I've never experienced this before, but my dear friend, my darling friend, unfortunately has. And I was like, Nina, what did you do? It's like, tell me it all. Give me the info. Like, I was asking her questions, and she was there the entire time. Not physically, but she was there to give so much guidance and support through that, because I had no idea what was going on. And I'm not someone that has found it easy to be vulnerable or easy to feel. Like, feeling, and I think you know this too, even liking a show so much has made me feel really uncomfortable. And I have spoken to Nina about that. there's so many, like, I didn't feel comfortable liking something beyond the men's of, to me, what was validated. You know how people
Mhm.
have really big likes for K-pop groups and like certain celebrities and stuff. Not saying that's bad. You guys do you, as long as you're respectful of their space. But for me personally, I just never let myself go there. I never really wanted to, but never really did, without the, like, it just happened that way. But also, I never felt comfortable to like things. Like, I never
Mhm.
felt comfortable to even express that. Like, there was no safe space to like, but even to feel things towards things. Like, no, no, that was a big no. So when this thing happened, and I allowed myself to just sort of fall into it and let my feelings just flow. Uh, and then it kind of ended, and I just went through like a grief thing of confusion and also validating what my body needs, but also what my emotions need. And then confusion again, just a whole lot of not understanding what the hell is happening and why. And there still is a bit of confusion, and there still is that around. But Nina was able to really give me a lot of perspective of something that I haven't felt before, you know. And it was in. And mind you, I just started walking from my calf injury.
Mhm.
So I was hit with the calf injury, and then I was hit with this for 3 months. So the calf injury was 3 months rehabilitation and such. Because the other thing, just to say this too, because advocation for other people, when someone gets an injury, if they have other affected areas, it doesn't just piss off the injury, it pisses off everything else that's not in alignment. So,
Yeah.
be kind to people. I'll get more onto that one day. But yeah, so I tore my calf, and then, like, literally, as I thought that things were like, even though I completely did not like my 29th birthday, oh, all of a sudden this happens, and I'm like, what? So it was just really, I'm really grateful to have had my friend, my lover, my my dearest, because I could not have done it without you. Like, I probably would have done it, but I don't think I would have been able to do it in the way that I've been able to, because of the learning that you gave me with it, and the understanding that you know what it was, actually one part of it, the validation to feel beyond what
Mhm.
was comfortable for me.
Mhm.
And because of that, like, I have really become vulnerable with, especially with my coach. I've had to be vulnerable and speak on things that I would have never spoken to anyone about, because I felt really insecure and kind of like I protected it.
Yeah.
Because what safe space is there for a woman's body to be in certain ways without, it has to look like pristine, and it has to be
Yeah.
pristine. Like, there's certain experiences, it just didn't feel I didn't feel comfortable to talk to anyone about it. So I've had to be vulnerable with my coach, and I've found myself in a space of vulnerability this year. I think it was one of my biggest learning lessons this year, was getting in touch with, like, like the real deep human aspects of love and acceptance and vulnerability. Yeah.
You're making me emotional talking about it, you talking about this, because you reminded me of something that I struggled with this year, especially recently. Over the last few months, I genuinely have had that same realization that, I mean, we've talked about it before, you and I personally, of like the limit that you can experience joy on, right? There's like a little
Mm.
Richter scale there. You can't go beyond a certain level because that's dangerous. I
Yes.
had to encounter that as well. And I do have a few things to say on that. and I'll mention it quickly now, but I'll digress to what I actually wanted to say. I think that comes very large in part, at least for me, because I've never been in an environment where, like I said at the beginning of the show, celebrations for smaller milestones were not there. You know, it's always been more of a
Yeah.
mentality of like, okay, now you've done this, what's next? What's next? What's next? There's never really a time for me to sit. Yeah, there's
Gosh.
never really a time for me to sit and celebrate and have fun and yay, you know, this thing happened. Or it's we'll do an episode on this eventually, or it's tied to some kind
Hmm.
of numerical value of like money, right? So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a big thing this
So
year, was
yeah,
also
it,
celebrating the small wins, but also
yeah.
not linking it to limit, like, how do I say it? Like limited ideologies of what that needs to be and look like and what needs to come with it.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Um, but like recently, over I would say like 2 months, 3 months, maybe, I don't know. I've been a little bit like I don't know. I've talked to a friend about it, and I was like, I don't think I'm depressed. I don't think that this is what this is. But she was like, no, this is like high functioning depression. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's a thing. So I'm not quite sure because I feel like I'm constantly walking the line between depression and then happiness, um, which it's not a fun line to walk. But for the last few months or so, I felt very much just invisible, but not in the sense of not being seen, because I get seen by my friends, by Ash, by a couple friends of mine. I get accepted for who I am, but in the sense of like importance in life. You know, I've talked
Yeah.
before about how, you know, sometimes when I've made very big decisions in my life, it's like, well, we're all going to die anyway, so might as well do it. If everything, you know, disappears eventually, just go for it. It doesn't matter. Um, it matters for you, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things in terms of just like if you mess up or, you know, if something bad happens in that way. I digress. However, this was more so personal of like, if I were to disappear, I don't think anything would like change. I don't think anything would like, you know, alter. Obviously, my friends would be in pain and they would be sad, and my family. But like in the grand scheme of things, it's like I never really existed in this life, and that really
Yeah.
affected me for a very long time because I was like, I feel like a ghost, you know, and I'm like, how do I? Obviously, a lot of my mindset when I'm in a more stable place or a happier place, it's like, okay, how do we use this? Like, what does this mean? Where does this lead to? What is it connected to? How can we heal it? But I had to really, I was forced to sit with it because there was nothing I could do because this feeling was just a mood that I was in for a few weeks, if not months. I can't really recall how long it's been. And you know, I went through a lot of just like how much value do I bring to life and to people that I know, and that has been a very big conversation in my head anyway. But then hearing you say just now how much I've helped you and the things, you know, that I've said that I don't even remember. That's the best part. Like I don't remember any of it. I remember being there and helping, but I don't remember what I said. But that I was able to have that influence on you in a positive way and make you feel safe, heard, and validated, and you know, not alone in something. It means a lot to me. And like listening to you now, or just having listened to you rather mentally, my brain is like, of course you have an influence on the people around you, of course you mean something to people that actually care. And but like the heart, again, the mind and the heart are two different things. Your emotional body can be different, and I think it's influenced by a lot of different things in my life. But um it was, I've been humbled. I will say that I've been humbled the last few weeks of just kind of being reminded by the universe of like, I need you to stop thinking so much because what you're thinking is bullshit. And this is
Mm.
the proof why. This is the proof why it's not the way you think it is. And it's been happening now for the last few weeks since I've had that really deep feeling. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of just had like a talk in the middle of the night to the universe, and I was just like, listen, um, this feeling that I'm feeling is very scary because it's been there for a little bit. It's not like a day or two. It's
Yeah.
lingering, and I don't really know what to do with that because also eating was becoming difficult, and it was really just like getting to a point where I was getting concerned for my emotional well being. Not that I was in danger or harming myself or anything of the sort, but it lingered too long for me to not do something about it if it was getting worse. And so I kind of just had like a moment in the middle of the night, and I was like, I need you to help me. I need you to show me that this is not right, that this is wrong, and to show me kind of the opposite of whatever it is that what I'm meant for to do in this life. And
Hmm.
so the last few weeks I've been reminded and humbled, and it's like, okay, you called for me, you sit your ass down, and this is why you are important. Bam, bam, bam. It's come through you. It's come through a couple friends of mine where like genuinely I've had to cry tears of joy this time of just like, wow, okay. And then again just today. So it's been thank you is what I want to say. Again, another thank you.
It's been a hard year. It has. There's no
Yeah.
denying it. It's a human experience in some way. Many other people have had a really hard year. Sorry, but the high vibes and hopes that everyone constantly wants, it's just like, well, yeah, it was a fucking hard year. And I can swear,
Yeah.
yes, it was a fucking hard year.
Yeah.
And I know for you, like, I hear you in that feeling of just where something, it's just like you're not sure the root. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but you're not sure what the root cause is. It's just this feeling of nothing is satisfactory. Nothing is giving you like this grounded feeling of being in this space and just being. And everything's annoying, like food and having to brush your teeth and have a shower. Like everything starts to become a burden in some form. And that is high functioning
Mhm.
depression because you're it's like knowing you, because that's what you did. You just sort of you went to work and you did this and you did that
Yeah.
while you were feeling this. So that's sort of the thing of high functioning is that people can't see it external, like from the outside perspective,
Yeah.
but on the inside, like you're functioning, but on the inside you are feeling the like you're feeling depression basically.
Mhm.
It's a hard thing to be in. It doesn't help with certain environments, it really doesn't to
Yeah.
actually see beyond. To see
Especially
beyond.
this
We'll say
country.
that. Yeah, I don't know how people are surviving. I don't. But those are stories. And I mean, like, from the stories Nina has told me about hospitals in Germany and stuff, like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know what's happening over there. Like, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
don't know. Just from her stories. But yeah,
It's been a tough year, you're
2026.
right, for a lot of different people. And right now, as we're speaking, 5 planets are in retrograde. If you believe in astrology,
Yeah.
you'll know probably. And it's just for those who don't believe in it, is fine. It does affect us in our daily lives, believe it or not. But we did have some wins this year, and even worldly speaking, what's happening in the world out there, there were some good things that have happened, and so. It, I'll say this for the collective today. I think sometimes we can be hopeful in the way that we go about life or envision life, or even when we go into a new year. And then when we see continuous bad things happen back to back to back, it can make you feel like there is nothing left of good in the world, or nothing good that will happen anymore. We just have to kind of prepare ourselves for
Mm,
things to get worse. And I do, like, I know a lot of people have had to suffer this year and have had to go through extraneous circumstances that should never be placed upon them. But I think for me, I've kind of just recently seen that, good things can still happen even in the midst of darkness, even in the midst of difficult times. And that hope is not lost. Hope is the very last thing to die, which sometimes for me, personally speaking, has been torturous because it's like, well, maybe. And then you get stomped down. But like, but
The sun will come out, and then the sun just gets blocked.
yeah, exactly, a cloud. But I am in the position where I've put myself in now where I'm like, I'm going to let life surprise me, and I'm not going to let just the continuous session of darkness, of the clouds, of the gray that's in life that can kind of just suck the life out of everything to permeate me to the core, where it blinds me to the fact that the sun does still shine and there will be better days, even for us personally. And we will get through the difficult times and the emotional times, and the times where confusion is the name of the game. But allow yourself, if you're not in a space right now where you feel hopeful, allow yourself to, at the very least, open yourself up to the point where you ask life to surprise you. You at least hold the possibility open of like, okay, I don't know right now. I'm not in the space where I feel hopeful about much. Life is looking dark, but get to a point maybe where you can be like, life, do your thing. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to be in my space. I'm going to do what I can do to help myself and be there for me and the people that I love. But yeah, and life can surprise you and good things are coming because this is not forever. For every single day is a new day, even if it feels like you're kind of living in Groundhog Day and it's just the same thing over and over. Every day is a new day and you are progressing, even if you can't see it right now. So yeah.
Touche. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. If you ever need a bit of sun, just remember that you have words of pure wisdom.
The sun is
and if not, I'll
inside
just tell
myself.
you. It is. You are the sun, and the real sun is a conspiracy.
Yes.
I'm going to start that shit. I'll be like the people that think the earth is flat. Like the sun doesn't exist because the sun this whole time has been a person, and her name is Nina, and she lives in Germany.
I will say, I do think that if anybody is the sun out of the both of us, it's you, and I'm more like the moon. But
I would actually say I'm the moon.
really? Okay, I see it. I see it.
See, I do, in a sense, have a little fear of the dark. Not a little, actually, a fear of the dark.
Okay.
Not going to minimize it. But the thing that always makes me feel safe is the moon. Like when I look up at the sky, I'm looking for the moon. I'm constantly looking for the moon. When I'm sitting outside, I'm looking at the stars and the moon, but mostly the moon. There's just something about it that always draws me in, you know? And there have been moments where it's lit up the sky enough that you can actually see your surroundings. So I'll feel a little okay to step out and sit there and just stare at it. You know what? The moon is the one thing that knows what it's like to be stared at more than any human being. I feel like many people stare at the moon. You can't stare at the sun, you go blind. So the moon is the one thing that you just look at with, oh my gosh, I wish my iPhone could take a photo of you and it actually be, you know, a good photo of you. Yeah.
I can help you
For
do
an
that.
iPhone, what are we up
I
to
can
now?
help you do that. I figured out a
iPhone
way.
102. See? You are the sun. You are a legend. We're at iPhone 150.
18, 17?
I'm joking. I know
I
we're
think
not.
that's the iPhone we're on. I have
What
no
was that,
idea.
1800? 1800, did you say?
18.
And we still aren't able to
No,
take
17.
like good photos of
I don't
the sky
know.
and shit. 1700, did you say?
We can zoom in
fair.
now.
I agree. Absolutely unreal. I shall get the next one. just for the one feature that's different. I love it. Oh my gosh. How exciting. I'm not buying iPhone. I'm not
Yeah.
buying a new iPhone anyway. I will continue to
Same.
refurbish my own to support the Congo. So the
Yeah.
Democratic Republic of the Congo. iPhone and their so-called iPhone 1800 can keep their one new feature.
Yeah.
I can just see the people being like, it's not one new feature that's different. There's plenty. And it's just save it. It's not going to change my mind. Yeah. So please do show
Yeah.
me how I can take a better photo of my good friend, the moon. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll show it to you. No worries. So,
Honestly,
speaking of little
what do I do
wins,
without her?
yeah. I don't know. What would I do without you, my
It's
friend?
a little delayed.
But
I
it's
it.
okay. It's okay. Um, Speaking of little wins, let me ask you this question. What are you most
Oh.
excited, or where do you feel like you've grown the most, or what is something that you celebrate about yourself this year?
Mm. Um, it's a little hard to answer because I am grieving at the moment and I can feel a lot of that
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
I could have answered this probably before, but if I look back, if I think about it, I think I know I did say this to you last year, where I was last year compared to where I am now. I am quite satisfied to be in a better place or to be at least on the journey of moving towards being in a better place health wise, stronger,
Mhm.
healthier, and learning how health works for me and not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that likes to have an opinion about someone else's health. So, learning about what works for me
Mhm.
and following and finding my own routine and my own schedule and my own vibe with it. I'm very I've always wanted to find that path. I've always wanted to discover it. It's just been a lot of trials and tribulations and things that haven't worked out. It's just been a lot of roller coaster rides with that. So it's nice to be trying this, and I'm certain that other things are going to have to happen as well to help with other healing, to help with other spaces of healing. But I'm really happy to be in a space where I'm more focused on that compared to where I was last year. Because this time last year, I think I was in a pretty deep space where things were stagnant. And for me, I'm not a fan of stagnancy. I'm not a fan of being in the one place for too long because then I know that things aren't moving. And I'm not meaning in survival as well. I'm talking about where I want to go in my life. Um, like the difference between being grounded and then actually being stagnant, like learning those two differences has been a thing as well. So I know what stagnancy feels like, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm okay to rest and be and allow myself to like be in the environment that I'm in for now, but also validate movement too. So it's yeah, I'm happier to be where I am now than I was last year. As difficult as it has been, and essentially a lot of the learning experiences came off difficulty. And look, I can't bullshit it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and perform and put on some facade that this year has given me like all the greatness of the greats. You know, the greats of the greats don't even know what the greats are because I experience them. I'm not going to be a bullshitter and say that's what it was like because it really wasn't. And even recently, it's just it hit me hard with what recently happened. So, all in all, I do see a stronger version of myself and I'm glad, who's had to go through a lot of resistance from outside people, which was another thing this year actually, was a lot of resistance coming from other people in how they interpret your space, and then having to differentiate between me, like what's me and what's them. That's been a big thing this year too, is just the reactions and people thinking that it's valid to come back, and especially when they've come back too many times. It's just human experience, right? Human experience, and having to deal with conflict and conversations where you know that the conversation isn't going to move or nothing's going to happen. So I've had to make decisions to just say la vie, to move away, because I knew that we've conversated enough, which would be a really good thing to talk about in an episode, because that's something I've learned. I used to have the stance of you need to communicate and there's no excuses. But as I've been on the journey, you realize that because human beings are at certain positions in their own lives where they're very limited in the space that they hold for this, it's real hard to communicate when someone doesn't actually know how to hold space for what communication needs, especially when you're talking about something that could bruise someone's ego or spark them or activate their ego to protect, or their protector, activate their protector. It gets hard to hit those walls with the communication bubble and like wanting to do that and wanting to do it from a space of care. Because this is the thing too, I want to say this, I need to say it. When I want to communicate with someone, it's because I care about the connection and I generally want us to evolve from what's happening. It comes from a place of care, and you might have seen that quote all over, and it's 100% truth. If I want to communicate with you on something, it's because I know we can expand from this, and I would hope for the same thing back if anything came up. And that's just like, for me, the most bare minimum human thing when you have relations, connections, relationships, whatever you want to call it. But it's been testing me, because I've said it to Nina so many times where it's like, I just need a break from human beings. I just need a break, because you feel surrounded by people who want to constantly gaslight you into making you seem like you're crazy. Or it's like what I was talking about before, where there's no desire to step forward in understanding how you work. Because I mean, I'm more open now. If someone wants to have a conversation about why I do what I do, right, and the intention is set for like a general wanting to listen and ask questions and all that, I'm not expecting perfection. But if you want to know, I will talk to you about it. I'll tell you the truth. I'll be honest. And I've had so many difficulties with that. No shame to anyone, but there are some things I do for the protection of myself while I'm still healing. There are some choices I've had to make that I didn't want to make. A lot of choices I didn't want to make, but I had to make them, because how do you fucking survive in a consistent space that's draining the life out of you? You literally feel like there's no escape to any path of humility or joy or fucking purpose, just anything, when what you're externally surrounded by and what you're in is constantly like sucking shit from you. And it's like, then no one's willing to have a conversation or even see that. It's just like, so that's been another thing this year. I literally deactivated my Instagram recently because, like what you were talking about, I started to really feel like I can't control how other people move through their own social media. It's not about that. I just started to feel like I was just being watched and nothing more than just being watched. And, sometimes it has like sucked. Sometimes it has sucked as someone who's, trying to move through certain pathways and there's just no element of support on that. Or it's just like the energy that was there before is no longer there. on Instagram. And I was feeling really shit about myself, and I was feeling like a lot of things, and I was going through them. I kept Instagram up because I'd been feeling this for a while, but I kept Instagram up because I was like, I need to work through this because I can't control how other people show up. I can't control what they do or what they don't do. I can only do what I can do. So I was doing the self thing, looking into self and going through that, but I just kept having the same feeling of I don't feel comfortable on this site anymore. You know, I don't feel like oh, that little backstory to me. I love posting photos of random shit. Like good photography, but random shit as well. Like I love posting and showing that side like of a building that I've seen. And if I love the look of this building, I'll take a photo, or a street. You give me the sun in the middle of a street or beaming off a house when it's coming down. Oh, I'm going to take a photo. That sun, I've taken so many photos of the sun and the moon, and I literally used to love sharing it. And I used to love, even just like posting my own selfies, because why the fuck not? But over time, I started to lose that feeling. I started to feel more like the space has become a bit more overcritical and very much on the watcher side of stuff. The energy has changed. And I just thought, well, I feel lonely on this site, so I'm going to just get rid of it. Say la vie. So I have. And I also deactivated my Facebook. I only have it up now so I could sell some stuff that I was selling. And I got rid of it because I also just felt like I'm still trying to understand whether this is entirely, especially with the Facebook thing, like all of that in general with the people that I have, if it's because I'm trying to run from them, or if it's generally because it's just not a space that I need to be in anymore. Like it's still trying to figure it all out too, always will be, but it's just
It
hard
could be
when you've
both.
always known yourself. It could be both. It could be. It could be running away and also moving through a different space.
Well,
I don't
no,
know. It's
no,
always
not
like,
that. I
I
mean,
don't know. I'm
just
happy
more
to see it.
so. I mean more so in like you're running away because it isn't the spaces you need to be in anymore. You're running towards something better.
Yeah, yeah. I do believe so. A lot of these spaces, they hold old survival versions of me, and they hold versions of me that no longer exist with people that probably see me in that way. And no shame, no fault, right? There are people that I remember
Yeah.
and I think of them the way that I knew them. Like I literally don't know of any other way but to think of them but the way that I knew them. And that's another great thing to talk about. It's actually another great thing to talk about, truly. Because I come to that realization, I think last year or something like that, that there are just some people that have only known me through survival. So that when they see me, they see that version of me. And I thought to myself, well, I definitely see other people in that way that I've had really uncomfortable situations with and interactions with. So what if they've changed? Obviously we don't know. That's the hard thing too, is that we don't know, but this part of self wants to hold on to it because it's a form of protection, obviously, from anyone being able to do that again. So there's a lot of nuances with it. It's just there will never be there will never be a linear path with any of this. And even with what I'm saying, like I don't know everything, and I'm okay to admit that. It's all a learning journey. Well, some things, I'll say that. But yeah, I know I just took the question and I just went on my own little thing with it.
No, that's fine. I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that you went deep with it. That's what we love. That's what this is here for.
Shine, human experience 101. What about you,
Yeah.
dearie?
Well, so the most recent thing, that's something I genuinely want to share, is, as I've mentioned earlier in this episode, at the top of the episode, that I've been writing for the last 2 years, and I've been working on a book, a poetry book. Well, little Miss Nina, she just recently got accepted to be part of a magazine and let her poetry be seen there. It'll be the first time I ever have my work go, public. It'll be in a magazine. It's called the Wild Siren magazine. If you guys want to check it out, I can put details whenever it does come up on social media and stuff like that. But it's very exciting. It's something that
Yes,
just
they do.
on 11/11,
They do.
on 11/11, I got the email confirmation of like, you're in it. We want you. And I'm like, yeah. So it is something I'm very much looking forward to. I'm very excited to have my work be out there and put my name out there. And then next year, I'm crossing my fingers that next year I can release my book, because you all have been waiting. Ashley has been waiting. My friends have been waiting. And so I want to finally release. I've been working really hard. So yeah, I'm very excited. But that's something that is something that just recently came into my life, and I'm very proud of, because I've been feeling the pull of applying. And this is just a shout out to you guys as well. Like, if you feel a pull to do something, go ahead and do it. If it's possible, go do it. And even, I say if it's possible, but anything is possible. So just try. All you can do is not get that opportunity, and then you can try again another time, with something else or someone different. But it is something
Why
that
not?
has kind of, exactly, why the hell not? And it is something that I think came at the right time for me, with everything that I talked about in terms of feeling like kind of invisible a little bit and kind of like a ghost in my own life, of, again, just like Ashley is doing in her day-to-day life, trying to, with everything that is actually in your power, take back the reins in your hands and be like, this is the direction that I want to go. And even if other people don't understand it, I'm going to do it for me, because this is what I need, this is what I want, and this is what I deserve. And so I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, your girl's going to be in a magazine. Her poetry is going to be in a magazine. So check it out if you're interested. And you've been such a great
the
support
track
throughout it as
Celebrate
well.
by the Cool Gang.
Yes.
Of course, my friend. Of course. When we first met, she was talking about poems and poetry and stuff, not in not in full detail as she did in Time, but it's always been there. It's never left. So good on you for doing it, for taking that chance and just doing it. And here you are. Ending the year off with a fabulous bang, honestly.
Thank you.
I mean, we're not fully there at the end of the year yet, but like, we're making this episode so much earlier than when it's coming out. But still, I consider it a bang for the end of the year. We can celebrate it until the day that we depart. We'll make sure that it's on the tombstone as well.
Yes.
Like, everywhere is just going to have it published everywhere.
Yes, that too. That too. I do have to say it's going to be in bookstores as well. So online, digital, and in bookstores. And if you appreciate physical media, something to look into, not just because of me, but in general. It's nice to hold things in your hand and read it sometimes, I think. Unless you're into the digital thing, and that's fine too, or whatever. I'm not like talking badly about you guys. But anyway. You have been the inspiration, my friend. You have been the inspiration. I wrote you a poem one time. I sent it to you. I remember doing that. Yeah. Anyway, but you've been the inspiration. You were the one that kind of kept me going and made me think, hey, why the hell not? That literally was the motto of the year, wasn't it? Why the hell not? So yeah.
Yeah, I made a vision board with like a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of it did not happen. But it can happen, obviously. But it's just the thing that I think is a good conversation to have right now before we roll it up. That if you make a manifestation board for next year or a vision board or whatever you want to call it, I called mine Why the Hell Not. Just know that when you make those boards, that you don't add a time frame to it. Because even if you do, time in the essence of our pathway is very non-linear. You don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know where it's going to flow. So even though there's a part of me that is a little obviously disappointed in the thought process of like, oh, I thought this was going to happen this year, that's validated to feel that way. You know, there's been a lot of hope. I know for a lot of us, there's been a lot of hope to move from certain spaces and to be certain versions of ourselves that we want and to experience certain things. Like I know as well how much hope has been a consistent reality and how much disappointment has come with that and hardship when things haven't turned out the way that you really hoped it to. But I think that's kind of what, in conjunction with what Nina is saying too, is why the hell not is it's a space of where there's no limitations. It's very open to whatever that is to keep you moving through life and saying, well, I might as well do this because why the hell not? I got to that point of why the hell not? Like, why not just do it? Well, what's it going to do? I'm either not going to get it or I am, or I'm going to embarrass myself or I'm not. But I'm not actually embarrassing myself. Like, it's a lot of self-processing as well as realizing that the more open we are to potential, the more I think it gives us, so that part of you, that survival part of you, a bit of a hug, a hug in being like, it's okay. It's a time for a lot of people, even when they meet something in the time frame that they've given it, right? A few years down the, are we still here? It just like cut off for a second.
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay.
Yes.
If in a few years, some people have changed the trajectory of their path. And that's a path that they wished for and that worked out in their time frame. But things have shifted, It's life. It's a human experience, which is so non-linear. So if you make a vision board or a manifestation board, just know that it's okay to be in the space of that and want these things this year, but that be open as well to the reality of whenever that will happen. Just hold the space for that, which means comforting yourself as well for whenever it will be, If I'm making sense, I feel like I am.
Yes. You absolutely are making sense, my friend. And it's
Thank
correct. You never really know when things happen in life, when things come to fruition. And sometimes, it may look like nothing for a while and then everything comes at once. That has happened to me quite a few times with the good and the bad. But, give yourself the time and effort to grow into becoming the thing that you desire or having the thing that you desire. Like Ashley said, you said it perfectly. With another gold star, another one. You get like 4 gold stars this episode.
I honestly feel like, grief also has given me a lot of like calm wisdom, and I'm able to speak in the say the full word, and it's just because I've just been on like an ASMR flow lately as well. So thank you, my friend. I live to be a wizard.
Anytime.
I am Merlin the wizard at this point for my own self. Why not just admit it, right? Why not just give
You are.
yourself something that you
Yeah.
like and enjoy? If you want to be the Three Musketeers, if you're one of them, you do you, boo. Why the
Yes,
hell not?
absolutely.
Well, I will end off my thing by saying that I did come off a lot stronger this year, and I am, especially with the conflict that has come recently, I've been able to stand in front of that space and speak, and I've noticed that as well, and really speak and not shake or not feel anxiety or not cry, because I used to cry in conflict, but now I can really face things in a way that I've never been able to before. I really wanted to say that before too, but I forgot. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud to have taken this journey for myself and to be able to cope a lot more in the world with people, etc.,
Yeah,
etc. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm proud of you too. You did a great job. It's not easy, especially dealing with grief. Grief is such a thick cloud and it comes differently at different times, but you're doing great navigating a lot of things in life
Yeah.
and still pursuing who you are and what your desires are for yourself. Another gold
Yeah.
star.
Thank you, teacher. I never got them in high school, so now I feel complete, like the justice is served. So thank you. I actually said that to my coach in our training session today. I was like, because she was complimenting how good that I did, and I was like, oh, gold star. Plop that right there. So thank you, my friend, and I'm proud of you as well, especially with
Oh, I love
the
that.
gift of your words. Very proud, very happy for you. Very like
Thank
if
you.
I was there, I'd be probably skipping around the room, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. It's been an interesting year, but yeah, just to close off on my end, it's not fully over yet. Even by the time that you guys see this episode, it's not going to be fully over yet. The holiday season will still be ahead. And that's going to be an interesting one this year, I think. But we're going to take it one day at a time. We're going to be there for each other and ourselves. And for anybody listening and watching, be
Yeah.
gentle with yourself. It's not an easy time for a lot of people, especially this year and everything we've experienced as a collective. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and yeah, let's finish this year and see what comes with it, and we'll take the road as it comes.
That's right. See how we go along the flow. That's all you can do.
Yes, that's true. That's all you can do.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, on the What the Fuck Was 2025. Thank you for joining us in the fuckery of the fucks of this year. And we look forward to releasing the Christmas episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. That is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So please stay tuned for that. And let's all just collectively relate together and support each other. So, toodaloo to 2025. I'll definitely will be saying that in the Christmas episode as well. Like, bye, yeet, like I'm out. Close the door really quickly.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
guys
you
for
guys for
joining
joining
us.
us. And until the Christmas
The
episode,
Christmas
which will
episode
be
will be
our
ahead,
last
like Ash
episode for the
said,
year.
and
Thank you.
we shall see you soon. Bye.
Bye.